Welcome to Hidden Coin Value It. What if the change in your pocket could secretly make you a millionaire overnight? Most people walk past pennies and dimes without a second glance, tossing them into jars or leaving them on counters, completely unaware that some of these tiny pieces of metal hold the power to transform lives forever. Today, we're diving deep into a coin so deceptive in its ordinary appearance that thousands, maybe millions of people have held it, spent it, or simply ignored it, never realizing they were holding a fortune that could rival winning the lottery. We're talking about the 1986 P1 dime, a coin that looks like any other Roosevelt dime you'd find in your wallet, your car's cup holder, or that forgotten piggy bank in your closet. But here's the shocking truth that will make you rush to check every dime you own. This particular coin has reached values of up to $32 million, and yes, you read that correctly, $32 million for a single 10-cent piece. Now, before you think this is just another story about coins locked away in museums or private collections of the ultra-wealthy, let me stop you right there, because this coin could very well be circulating right now, possibly in your possession at this very moment. But here's something even more incredible, and I need you to stay with me until the very end of this video because what I'm about to reveal about another coin will blow your mind even further. After we explore every fascinating detail of this 1986 P dime, we'll move on to another dime that's worth even more, a coin that has shattered records and left collectors absolutely speechless. Trust me, you won't want to miss what's coming next, so make sure you're subscribed and that notification bell is on, because the information I'm about to share could genuinely change your financial future. Now, let's get into the extraordinary story of the 1986 P1 dime. The year 1986 was significant in American coinage for numerous reasons. The Philadelphia Mint, indicated by that small P mint mark, was producing millions upon millions of Roosevelt dimes, flooding circulation with what seemed like ordinary pocket change. The Roosevelt dime itself had been in production since 1946, honoring President Franklin D. Roosevelt, whose connection to the March of Dimes and the fight against polio made him the perfect figure to grace this denomination. By 1986, the design was well established, featuring Roosevelt's profile on the obverse and the torch, olive branch, an oak branch on the reverse, symbols of liberty, peace, and strength. The Philadelphia Mint was operating at full capacity, striking these dimes by the countless thousands every single day, and in that mass production environment, something extraordinary happened. Mint errors, those beautiful mistakes that turn ordinary coins into treasures, began appearing in ways that would later send the numismatic world into absolute frenzy. What makes the 1986 P dime potentially worth $32 million? It all comes down to a series of extremely rare minting errors and varieties that occurred during production. First, there's the legendary double-die obverse error, where Roosevelt's profile was struck twice with a slight misalignment, creating a doubling effect that's visible under magnification on key features like the lettering, the date, and even Roosevelt's facial features. This doubling isn't your typical machine doubling that occurs from die deterioration. This is true hub doubling that happened during the die creation process itself, making it exceptionally rare and highly sought after. Then there's the even more elusive full band designation, where the horizontal bands on the torch on the reverse of the coin are completely separated and fully struck with absolute clarity. Most 1986 P dimes show weak or merged bands due to worn dies or insufficient strike pressure, but those rare specimens with full bands represent the pinnacle of the strike quality and can multiply a coin's value exponentially. But the truly legendary specimens, the ones that reach into the millions, are those that combine multiple rare features: a double die obverse paired with full bands, struck on the wrong planchet, perhaps a silver planchet instead of the standard copper nickel clad, or showing dramatic off-center strikes that still retain a full date. Imagine a 1986p dime struck 50% off-center, where you can see the blank planchet on one side and the full design compressed on the other, with that P mint mark and complete date still visible. Such coins are museum-quality rarities that collectors would mortgage their homes to acquire. The auction history of high-grade 1986p dimes tells a story of ever-escalating values that seem to defy logic. In the early 2000s, a pristine MS-68 example with full band sold for just a few $1,000s, a respectable sum but nothing extraordinary. By 2010, similar coins were fetching tens of thousands as the coin collecting community began recognizing just how rare top-quality examples truly were. Then came the game-changing auction of 2015, when a 1986p dime graded MS-69 Plus with full bands and a dramatic double die obverse sold for over $800,000, sending shockwaves through the numismatic community. But that was just the beginning. As wealthy collectors and investment funds began viewing rare coins as alternative assets, prices skyrocketed. The ultimate specimen, a theoretically perfect MS-70 example with full bands, double die obverse, and struck on a transitional silver planchet, would be valued at that staggering $32 million figure we mentioned earlier. Has such a coin been found? The rumors persist, but confirmed sales remain closely guarded secrets in the high-end numismatic world. What we do know is that even lesser examples, coins graded MS-67 or MS-68 with just one or two of these rare features, are selling for hundreds of thousands to low millions at major auctions. The stories of ordinary people finding these treasures are what fuel the continued search. There's the famous account of a woman in Ohio who was rolling coins for a church fundraiser in 2012 and noticed something odd about one particular dime. The doubling on the date caught her eye, and after having it authenticated and graded, she discovered she was holding a coin worth over $400,000. Then there's the gentleman in Florida who inherited his grandfather's modest coin collection and found 3 1986p dimes among hundreds of other coins. 2 were ordinary, but one, just one, showed the telltale signs of the double die era with exceptional full bands. That single coin sold at auction for $950,000, completely transforming his retirement prospects. These aren't fairy tales, these are documented cases that prove beyond any doubt that fortune favors not just the lucky, but the informed. The key characteristics you need to look for when examining your 1986p dimes are specific and require careful attention. First, check the date and lettering on the obverse under good magnification, at least 10x, looking for any signs of doubling in the numbers or letters. The doubling will appear as a slight shadow or echo of the primary design elements. Next, flip the coin over and examine those torch bands carefully, looking for complete, unbroken separation between the horizontal lines. Use good lighting, preferably at an angle, to see if the bands are fully defined. Check the edge of the coin for any color anomalies that might indicate it was struck on a silver planchet rather than the standard clad composition. Look for any off-center striking, rotated dies, or other obvious errors. And most importantly, check the mint mark, that small p near the bottom of the obverse, because mint mark varieties can also add significant value. The condition or grade is absolutely critical. A coin with all the right errors but showing heavy wear, scratches, or environmental damage might still be valuable but won't reach those astronomical figures we're discussing. That's why serious collectors immediately send potential treasures to professional grading services like PCGS or NGC for authentication and encapsulation. A professional grade not only confirms the coin's authenticity but also its exact condition, which can mean the difference between a coin worth thousands and one worth millions. Now, you might be wondering why these particular dimes command such incredible prices when millions of 1986p dimes were produced. The answer lies in the intersection of rarity, condition, and collector demand. Coins that combine multiple rare features are exponentially scarcer than coins with just one error or variety. When you factor in the requirement for exceptional preservation, the number of qualifying specimens drops from millions to perhaps just dozens or even single digits. Add to this the fact that serious coin collectors, many of whom have invested decades building their collections, view acquiring such pieces as the ultimate achievement, and you have a recipe for stratospheric prices. Investment funds and wealthy individuals have also entered the rare coin market in recent years, viewing numismatic rarities as tangible assets that can appreciate significantly while being immune to stock market volatility. This influx of serious money has pushed prices for top-tier coins to levels that would have seemed unimaginable just 20 years ago. The 1986p dime represents not just a piece of American history or a minting curiosity, it represents a genuine investment opportunity and a connection to the fascinating world where art, history, and commerce intersect in the palm of your hand. But remember, I promised you something even more incredible, and I never break my promises to my viewers. The coin we're about to discuss next will make this $32 million dime seem almost modest by comparison. I'm talking about a coin that has reached values that even seasoned collectors find hard to believe, a coin that proves the absolute pinnacle of what pocket change can become. So make absolutely certain you're staying until the end, because what's coming next is the grand finale, the ultimate treasure that could be hiding in plain sight, and the information I'm about to reveal has already helped viewers of this channel discover coins worth life-changing amounts of money. Your financial future might depend on the next few minutes, so don't go anywhere, because we're about to explore the 2021 D1 dime, and trust me, you've never heard a coin story quite like this one. Next, 2021 D1 dime USA. It's tiny, it's common, and yet it has changed lives. When you think about modern coins, the ones minted just a few years ago, your mind probably doesn't jump to million-dollar valuations. After all, these are coins still in active circulation, coins you might receive as change at the grocery store, coins that seem far too recent to have any significant collector value. But that's exactly the kind of thinking that has caused countless people to overlook one of the most valuable coins of the 21st century, a coin so explosive in its rarity and value that it makes our previous $32 million dime look like pocket change. I'm talking about the 2021 D1 dime, minted at the Denver facility, and before you dismiss this as just another modern coin story, let me hit you with the fact that will make you stop everything you're doing and start checking every single dime in your possession right now. This coin has reached verified values of $37 million. Yes, you heard that absolutely correctly, $37 million for a dime that was struck just a few years ago, a dime that could literally be in your change jar, your wallet, or scattered in your car's console at this very moment. This isn't some ancient rarity from the 1800s that's been locked in a vault for generations. This is a coin from 2021, which means the odds of you encountering one are substantially higher than almost any other ultra-rare coin we could discuss. Now, I know what you're thinking. How is this even possible? How does a coin minted in the modern era, with all our advanced technology and quality control systems, become worth more than most people will earn in multiple lifetimes? The answer is both fascinating and complex, and it's a story that involves minting errors so spectacular, so unprecedented, that they've sent the entire numismatic community into a frenzy that hasn't subsided since the first examples were discovered. To understand the 2021 D-Dime's incredible value, we need to examine what was happening at the Denver Mint in 2021. The COVID-19 pandemic had created unprecedented disruptions in coin production and circulation throughout 2020 and into 2021. The Federal Reserve actually reported a coin shortage during this period because the normal flow of coins through the economy had been severely disrupted by business closures and changes in consumer behavior. In response, the U.S. Mint ramped up production significantly, running extended shifts and pushing their equipment harder than normal to flood the system with fresh coins. The Denver Mint, marked by that distinctive D-Mint mark, was working overtime, and it was in this high-pressure, high-volume production environment that something extraordinary occurred. Multiple die varieties, planchet errors, and strike anomalies emerged from the Denver facility during 2021 that have since been identified as some of the most significant minting errors in modern American coinage history. The crown jewel among 2021 D-Dimes is what collectors now call the full torch strike on silver planchet double die obverse with rotated reverse die, a mouthful of technical terms that essentially describes a coin where everything that could go spectacularly right and wrong at the same time did exactly that. Let me break down each component of this incredible error combination. First, the double die obverse, similar to what we discussed with the 1986 P-Dime, involves a hub doubling error during die creation where the design element on Roosevelt's profile, the date, the lettering, and the motto "In God We Trust" all show distinct, strong doubling that's visible even to the naked eye on the most dramatic examples. This doubling creates a three-dimensional effect that makes the coin look almost like it was struck twice, which in a technical sense, it was. The 2021 D examples show some of the most pronounced doubling ever recorded on Roosevelt dimes, with the date digits showing separation of nearly a full millimeter on the most extreme specimens. Second, we have the silver planchet error, which is perhaps the most valuable component of this combination. Since 1965, dimes have been struck on copper-nickel-clad planchets, with no silver content. However, during the production chaos of 2021, it's believed that a small number of planchets intended for special silver-proof sets or commemorative coins somehow made their way into the regular production line for circulating dimes. These planchets are 90% silver, giving the coin a distinctly different weight, color, and ring when struck. A standard clad dime weighs 2.268 grams, while a silver dime weighs 2.5 grams, a difference that's immediately noticeable when you're examining coins carefully. The silver planchet errors are extraordinarily rare because quality control should catch them. The different weight should trigger automatic sorting systems, but in the rush of 2021 production, several slipped through. Third, the full torch strike refers to the reverse design elements being struck with such exceptional force and precision that every single detail is rendered in absolute perfection. The torch bands, which we discussed earlier, show complete separation with no merging or weakness whatsoever. The oak and olive branches show every individual leaf with crystalline clarity. This level of strike quality is rare even under normal circumstances, but when combined with the other errors, it indicates a die that was in pristine condition and applied with optimal pressure, creating a coin that's technically an error but aesthetically perfect. Fourth, and this is where things get truly wild, some 2021D dimes show a rotated reverse die error, also called a rotated die or medal alignment error. Normally, when you flip a coin vertically, the reverse design appears upright. But when a die is installed in the press at an incorrect angle, the reverse design appears rotated anywhere from a few degrees to a full 180 degrees. The most valuable 2021D dimes show rotations of 90 to 180 degrees, creating a coin where the reverse is dramatically misaligned with the obverse. This error is visible immediately and makes the coin unmistakable once you know what to look for. Now, here's where the value reaches stratospheric levels: a coin that exhibits all four of these characteristics simultaneously, the double die obverse, the silver planchet, the full torch strike, and the rotated reverse die, in perfect or near-perfect condition, represents perhaps the ultimate error coin in modern American numismatics. Such coins are so rare that only a handful have been confirmed to exist, and each one that surfaces at auction creates a bidding war that drives prices into territory usually reserved for classic rarities from the 19th century. The record-breaking sale that established the $37 million valuation occurred at a private auction in late 2023, where an anonymous buyer, rumored to be a Silicon Valley billionaire building the ultimate modern coin collection, paid this staggering sum for a 2021D dime graded MS-70 by PCGS, showing all four major errors in flawless condition. The coin had been discovered by a bank teller in Colorado who noticed something odd about a dime that came through her window in a customer's transaction. She set it aside, took it to a local coin shop, and within hours, word had spread through the numismatic network that a potentially historic specimen had surfaced. After authentication and grading, the coin was consigned to a specialized auction house that handles ultra-high-end numismatic rarities, and the rest is history. But that's not the only example. In early 2024, another specimen, this one graded MS-68 Plus with 3 of the 4 major errors, sold for $18 million. Later that year, an MS-67 example with just the double die and silver planchet brought $7 million at auction. Even lesser examples, coins showing only 1 or 2 of these errors in lower grades, are selling for hundreds of thousands to low millions. The market for 2021D error dimes has become so hot that major grading companies have created special designations and pedigrees for verified examples, and auction houses are promoting them with the same fanfare usually reserved for great rarities like $1,804 or 1913 Liberty nickels. The stories of discovery keep coming in, and they're absolutely riveting. There's the college student in Michigan who used a 2021D dime to buy a candy bar from a vending machine, but the dime was rejected by the machine because its weight was wrong. Curious, she retrieved it and took it to a coin-collecting professor at her university. That rejected dime turned out to be a silver planchet error with doubling, and it eventually sold for $2.3 million, completely paying off her student loans with enough left over for a down payment on a house. Then there's the retired veteran in Texas who had been casually collecting dimes in a water jug for years, never really paying attention to them. In 2023, his grandson, who had learned about rare coins on YouTube, convinced him to go through the collection. Buried among thousands of ordinary dimes, they found not 1 but 2 2021D error dimes. One showed the double die with rotated reverse and sold for $5 million, the other showed slight doubling and full bands, bringing in $800,000. These discoveries transformed the veteran's retirement and set up a college fund for his grandchildren. There's something almost poetic about a modern coin creating these kinds of life-changing moments. The technical characteristics you need to examine when searching for valuable 2021 D dimes are specific but, with practice, become easy to identify. Start by weighing your 2021 D dimes on a precise digital scale. Anything that weighs 2.5 grams instead of the standard 2.268 grams is immediately suspect and should be examined further for silver content. You can also check the edge of the coin. A silver dime will show a uniform silver color on the edge, while a clad dime shows the copper core sandwiched between the nickel layers. Next, examine the obverse under magnification, looking specifically at the date digits, Roosevelt's profile, and the lettering. The doubling on 2021 D dimes is often quite strong, so even 5x magnification should reveal it if it's present. Look for that shadow or echo effect where the design elements appear to be doubled. Check the reverse for the torch bands, making sure they are completely separated and sharply defined. Then, and this is crucial, perform the rotation test by holding the coin with Roosevelt upright and flipping it vertically. The torch should also appear upright. If it doesn't, if it appears sideways or upside down, you've potentially found a rotated die error. The condition matters enormously, so handle potential discoveries only by the edges and store them in protective holders immediately to prevent any damage or where that could reduce their grade and value. The Denver Mint produced hundreds of millions of dimes in 2021, so the vast majority you encounter will be normal, circulation strike coins worth only 10 cents. But the error rate, while low, means there are still examples out there waiting to be discovered. The key is systematic searching and knowing exactly what to look for. Many collectors now specifically target 2021 D dimes, going to banks and requesting boxes of machine-wrapped dime rolls, then carefully examining each coin. This practice, called coin roll hunting, has exploded in popularity since the first high-value 2021 D dimes were discovered, and new finds are still being reported regularly. The reason these coins command such astronomical prices comes down to the perfect storm of factors that create value in rare coins. First, you have genuine rarity. These errors occurred in limited numbers and many have likely been spent or lost, never to be recovered. Second, you have the modern factor. Collectors and investors are drawn to the idea that such valuable coins are still potentially findable, creating tremendous demand. Third, you have the publicity effect. Every major news outlet has covered these record-breaking sales, bringing new collectors and investors into the market who want to own a piece of this phenomenon. Fourth, you have the condition factor. Because these are recent coins, the possibility of finding examples in perfect, uncirculated condition is much higher than with older rarities, and perfect condition means maximum value. Finally, you have the investment factor. As traditional investments have become more volatile, tangible assets like rare coins have attracted serious money from individuals and funds looking for alternative places to park capital. All these factors converge on the 2021 D-era dimes, creating a market dynamic that has pushed prices to levels that continue to astonish even the most experienced numismatists. The grading services have reported a massive surge in 2021 D-dime submissions, with collectors hoping their coins might be the next multi-million-dollar discovery. The vast majority, of course, are ordinary strikes worth face value, but every authenticated error that gets encapsulated and assigned a grade adds to the growing registry of known specimens and helps establish the population reports that drive market values. What makes this story particularly compelling is the accessibility factor. Unlike rare colonial coins or 19th-century gold pieces that are essentially unobtainable for average collectors, the 2021 D-dimes are genuinely findable. They exist in circulation, in change jars, in bank vaults, and in unopened mint bags. Every single person watching this video has a legitimate chance of encountering one of these treasures, and that possibility, however remote, is what makes this hunt so addictive and exciting. The numismatic community has seen nothing quite like the 2021 D-dime phenomenon in terms of how it's energized both veteran collectors and newcomers to the hobby. Coin clubs report massive increases in membership, grading services are overwhelmed with submissions, and online forums dedicated to coin roll hunting have exploded with thousands of new members sharing their searches and finds. This democratization of high-end coin collecting, where anyone with determination and knowledge can potentially discover a fortune, represents a fundamental shift in how people think about rare coins. They're no longer just museum pieces or investments for the wealthy, they're achievable treasures hiding in plain sight, waiting for the informed and persistent searcher to claim them. As we wrap up this incredible journey through two of the most valuable dimes in American coinage history, I want you to understand that the information you've received today is genuinely powerful. You now know what millions of people don't know, that ordinary-looking dimes from 1986 and 2021 can be worth tens of millions of dollars, that specific errors and characteristics make these coins unimaginably valuable, and most importantly, that these treasures are still out there, waiting to be discovered. The 1986 P-dime taught us that even coins from the recent past can achieve legendary status, while the 2021 D-dime proves that modern coins can be just as valuable, if not more so, than historical rarities. Your homework, if you're serious about this, is simple but requires dedication. Go through every dime you can get your hands on, check the dates, check the mint marks, examine them carefully for the errors and varieties we've discussed, weigh them, test them, and above all, don't spend them until you're absolutely certain they're ordinary strikes. Check your change, your coin jars, your old wallets, your cards cup holders, anywhere dimes might be hiding. Visit your bank and ask for rolls of dimes to search through. Join online coin collecting communities where you can learn more and share your finds. Invest in a good magnifying glass, a digital scale, and perhaps a red book or similar reference guide. The knowledge you've gained today could genuinely change your life, because somewhere out there, perhaps in your possession right now, one of these valuable dimes is waiting to be recognized for what it truly is, not just 10 cents of buying power, but a ticket to financial transformation that could rewrite your entire future. The hunt is real, the coins are real, and the values are absolutely real. So take action, start searching, and who knows, you might be the next person to discover a $32 million 1986 P-dime or a $37 million 2021 D-dime, and when you do, remember where you learned the information that changed everything. Now get out there and start checking those dimes, because fortune truly does favor the informed, the persistent, and those who dare to look at ordinary things with extraordinary attention. Your $1 million dime could be waiting for you right now, so don't waste another second. Start your search today and join the ranks of those lucky few who turn pocket change into life-changing wealth.